I'm Max Pringle with these headlines. President Biden will be in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania today to push for a new ban on assault weapons when he talks about his crime prevention plans. The White House said today's speech will also focus on the dangers of extremist violence in the country. Biden is expected to return to the key battleground state for a primetime Soul of the Nation speech Thursday in Philadelphia. Biden will talk about the dangers to democracy posed by political extremism. At a Democratic fundraiser last week in Maryland, Biden denounced the political ideology of former President Trump and his supporters as semi-fascist. Biden will return to the state on Labor Day for a speech in Pittsburgh on the dignity of the American worker. Ukraine says it's making advances in its counteroffensive against Russian forces in southern Ukraine. Meanwhile, a UN nuclear watchdog team has arrived in Kyiv and is preparing to safeguard the endangered Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant from a nuclear catastrophe. Feature Story News' Julia Chapman reports.
Ukraine says it has broken through Russian defenses in several sectors of the front line near Kherson. The city has been occupied by Moscow since the early days of the invasion. Russia claims it has inflicted heavy losses on Ukrainian forces involved in the counter-offensive. Retired British Air Force officer Sean Bell says the Kherson region is strategically vital.
It's a stepping stone if Russia wants to take Odessa, but it's also an important port with grain exports, it's got shipbuilding, and importantly, it provides the fresh water supplies for Crimea. And I think what President Zelensky is trying to do is ease pressure on the Donbass, where they've been fighting heroically but losing, and then start to actually seize the initiative. And I think Kherson is a great place to start.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Julia Chapman.
Meanwhile, EU ministers today debated ways to ramp up weapons production, boost military training for the Ukrainian armed forces, and inflict heavier costs on Russia. Among the economic costs could be a ban on Russian tourism to the European Union. Stuart Smith reports.
Estonia already prevents Russian citizens entering on tourist visas. Countries that border Russia have become the main point of entry for Russians, with direct flights from Russia to EU countries banned. While Russia's army is fighting in Ukraine, they say Russian tourists should not be enjoying EU hospitality. But German Chancellor Olaf Scholz opposes the ban, saying room needs to be provided for Russians to flee if they disagree with the government. For years, EU tourist visas have been used by journalists, academics and activists to escape Russia. One possible compromise under discussion is an exception for refugees, but that's been slammed by opposition activists in Russia as inadequate. Stuart Smith, Moscow.
Mississippi officials said today that residents of flood-ravaged Jackson will go without reliable drinking water for the indefinite future after flooding knocked out pumps at the main water treatment plant. That means the city's 180,000 residents will be relying on bottled water distribution and water tankers. The capital's water treatment system has been struggling with issues for years. The issues led to a boil water notice late last month. Governor Tate Reeves said the flooding sped up the inevitable.
There was a near certainty that Jackson would fail to produce running water sometime in the next several weeks or months. Unfortunately, that failure appears to have begun.
Reeves said the facility's main pumps were severely damaged recently, and the plant began operating on smaller backup pumps at about the same time the boil water notice was issued in late July. Meanwhile, Reeves said the state is working to distribute water to residents and advised them to not drink the running water even when brushing their teeth. The city is also setting up water distribution sites. The Environmental Protection Agency has also identified concerns with the system, and in March 2020 issued a Safe Drinking Water Act emergency administrative order to address some of the issues. Advocates for low-income Nevada residents may say many older workers may be leaving money on the table because they don't know that they could qualify for certain lesser-known government benefits. Public News Service's Suzanne Potter reports.
People can search more than 2,000 programs free of charge on the website benefitscheckup.org, or they can call a national helpline. Simona Comby is with the National Council on Aging, which created the online tool.
Older adults usually don't think that they are eligible, or they don't even know about the benefits, or they don't know how to apply, and some benefits are complicated to apply for.
I'm Suzanne Potter.
And I'm Max Pringle.